Specifically, as a black woman, I know that there are less black men than there are black women. So that means that every black woman isn't going to get the man that they desire. And then you start adding all these requirements on top of that. That means this man is somebody you're gonna have to build at a factory, a build a bay.
What are your thoughts on the current state of dating and marriage right now in the West in 2023? What are your thoughts?
It's a mess. It's a mess. There's a lot going on, and you can think about that. Just because so many people have panels talking about relationships, it means that our relationships in general are doomed. Right? There's no future for consistent relationships. Okay, there's no future for honest, loyal relationships. It seems like because everybody wants to look out for themselves, but you have to be selfless when you get into a relationship. That's the first thing everybody has to realize. I don't know what kind of future it has when women are saying that they want to be cis, strong, independent, and single. That's what they want to be. And because they want to be that, how can men take them seriously? That's the first question. Second thing is that they don't want to be, women don't want to be submissive. They think it means slavery. And that means, hey, they don't want to be in relationships. I think we're really doomed when it comes to relationships. Traditionalism is something that's of the past. It was something that worked and it was consistent a long time ago, but today it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like people have given up on relationships. Instead, they're actually settling for situationships. They're settling for the bare minimum. And I always tell women all the time is that you want a man to put a ring on your finger, but you're doing everything that goes against that. And as we know, women are so quick to say MCM, man crush Monday, but they need to be saying men control marriage because they do. And if we realize that, then that's when we will act right. So therefore, we can get that ring. But I'm telling you, today, baby mamas are glorified. Single motherhood is glorified. And that's where the disconnect is. And until we understand as women what men want, and men understand what us women want, then there's no way that relationships will ever work themselves out the way they should be. I'm telling you, it's an order to relationships. There's a standard that has to be set. But sometimes women are setting their standards so high. That's another thing. Because they've given the best to the worst. And then they want to give the worst to the best. They want to give the best to the Pookies and Ray Rays, as everybody wants to say. And they're giving the worst to the Henrys, the ones who are actually on their grind, who could be a potential suitor. But y'all not giving him the opportunity because you're passing him up for the ones that look good on the outside, but they're not good for you on the inside. That's what I say. But we have to really get a reality check to understand that it's about two people and you have to come into something selfless. But today's relationships, especially since women and men are listening to all the music that's telling them to be single. There's no music telling us we should love each other like maybe back in the day told us. So then now we don't think we need nobody. And some people going to end up dying alone. All because the statistics, the stats are not in our favor, especially as women, as it relates to the fact that specifically as a black woman, I know that there are less black men than there are black women. So that means that every black woman isn't going to get the man that they desire. And then you start adding all these requirements on top of that. That means this man is somebody you're going to have to build at a factory, a build a bay. You're not going to be able to find all the requirements you have for a man in the man that you're actually interested in, all because he may not be interested in you. So I think we have to really go back to the drawing table, the drawing board, and figure out these standards that we have. Because some of them are so superficial that's why we're over here dreaming instead of living in reality. Those are my thoughts so far. It's a mess. Dating is not is not a good look right now.
Man, you said a lot, but so with cis, what was the acronym for cis? It was something
Strong, independent, and
strong,
single.
independent, and single, and MCM,
Men
men
control
control
marriage. And
marriage.
then the last one is WCW. I haven't mentioned that one yet, but women control wombs. That's what relates to the fact that this
Okay.
whole single motherhood is happening because the women don't understand. They control the wombs. You can't blame the man after you slept with him, you have the baby, now it's your responsibility. And you can't be trying to hold this man hostage all because you set the bar so low. So that's another one.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. I want to play this clip from I want to play this clip, and one of the things that you mentioned where like you said strong, independent,
And
and
single.
single. So let me pull this up. I'm just going to share my screen really quick.
Impress.
We married to the government. They take care of us like our man should. They give us food, clothes, shelter, health care, child care, education, an apartment, whatever it is we need, they step in as our man. And they only do that, as I said, for the two reasons: to make him look inadequate and to make us not want to be bothered with him, to destroy his little ego that he got left, and to make us think that we are better than him. And we'll tell him, I can make it. I don't know why you can't make it. Well, they made us
I'm gonna
demand
play it
things
again.
from our man that they systematically keep him from getting. So he can't give it to us. And so we married to the government. They take care of us like our man should. They give us food, clothes, shelter, health care, child care, education, an apartment, whatever it is we need, they step in as our man. And they only do that, as I said, for the two reasons: to make him look inadequate and to make us not want to be bothered with him, to destroy his little ego that he got left, and to make us think that we are better than him. And we'll tell him, I can make it. I don't know why you can't make it. Well,
All right.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes back into what what you were saying earlier, how strong, independent, single, and things of that sort, right? And so the government has all of these programs that are willing to help women, and I think that that has been to our detriment. It has not been to our benefit. It's been more or less to our detriment, and I think that that's one of the major reasons of the behavior of the modern woman nowadays.
Right. They're so dependent. And like you said, the government is helping, but it's really hindering. It's
Right.
hindering the women more than anything else, but they don't realize that because they're looking for those short term rewards instead
Yeah.
of long term rewards and work and progress. And it's just making women lazy because they have to depend on that standard that's set by the government to think that they don't need a man, all because of the fact that they're being supplied with everything a man is supposed to supply for them, but they'll take it from the government instead because they, respect the government more than they respect men. It's sad.
Yes, absolutely. So my next question for you is, do you think that modern women are requesting too much from men?
Oh yeah, I already told you. Yep. Well, I'll answer this a little bit more in detail, but I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah, yeah. Just kind of, I mean, you kind of did the jab already, but go for the right hook now.
yes, yes. I definitely think that
Mhm.
modern women are asking too much. I think so. And the problem was is that they didn't ask for too much at the beginning with the wrong ones. So now that they see that the wrong ones are now offering what the right ones would have been offering, that's when they're upping their standards. But lady, you have to keep your standards high at the beginning. If you're gonna keep standards high, keep them at the beginning. Now, oh, I'm gonna adjust and add more because of all these situationships I've been in. All these men don't play me, but you played yourself. You played yourself because you set the bar low, and nobody's going to take you serious when you set the bar low from the beginning, and now you're trying to add standards to it. No, it doesn't work that way. So I think they are asking for the wrong things. It's about the aesthetics. It's about the lifestyle.
Mhm.
But realize that the material lifestyle may not last forever. What's going to happen? It's all about through thick and thin, but they're looking at what's good for social media. They're looking for that quick fix, that validation, and they see it by, okay, a man has to look like this. The 6 figure, 6 pack, 6 feet. That's what they say. Those are the
Mhm.
standards, right? And that's
Mhm.
just so, I don't know. I can't even tell you. It's mind boggling to say the least that women think that just because a man looks like a certain way on the outside, then that's when I'm going to take him serious. No, it's not. But
Right.
I think that a lot of people are receiving validation from their sisterhoods, their circles, that are telling them that it's okay to have these high standards. Keep your standards, girl. Be single first before you take a man that this, that. Like, you don't understand about the word compromise. That's the problem. Women don't understand about that because they've really submitted to the wrong man. They submitted to a man who wasn't even their husband. And knowing that, that's why nothing worked for them in the past. But I think that's what it comes from. It's like, I'm going to readjust my standards each and every time. But as you get older, that dating pool is getting lower and lower, right? That's the problem. Is that it's already that men are at a shortage, and then now you're gonna add all these requirements. So now you're trying to get to the 1%er when you really the 99th percentile. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are this big amount of people of modern women, and you're trying to fight for this top man. What do you bring that's so valuable that other women aren't bringing? You all look the same.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure that out. But yeah.
Right. No, absolutely. Hopefully I don't offend you or any ladies with this, but this is a I know, like, typically when some men bring up a car scenario, women get offended. But I'm gonna
Oh
bring it up
no,
in this light.
I bring it up too on my
Oh,
show.
well, cool. Okay. so so this is it, right? So it's like you have it's like you have a Honda Accord and you get it, and like you try to revamp it, and the Honda Accord typically takes like 87 gas, but then you're trying to put 93 gas in it, but it really should be taking 87 gas. Or that's like saying, like, you have a Ferrari and you've been driving a Ferrari. You've been driving a Ferrari for about 5 or 6 years, and you have maybe about 100,000 miles on it. It's still a Ferrari, but the Ferrari is gonna need a tune up a lot more. It's gonna need a lot more maintenance.
Hmm.
Then you want to try to say that someone with a 800 credit score can get a Ferrari drive, that has 100,000 miles on it. To me, that what I'm trying to say, long story short, is that you're definitely asking for way too much. The juice is not worth the squeeze.
No.
And kind of what you just said, right? Going back to what you said, like the woman submitted for the wrong kind of man, and then when the right man comes along, you're asking him to do things that the wrong man did. So
Right.
it's like, you, in essence, you played yourself. You absolutely correct.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I'd look at it like cat facts. That's what I call it. Instead of car facts, call it cat facts, and realize that
Ah,
mileage, it plays a role.
I got you.
Yeah, so that mileage plays a role. It really does, but you don't think, since men don't see it from the outside, that it doesn't count. But everybody, every woman has a cat facts. That's what it is. And the more mileage you put on it, the least that man is going to be interested in riding it, in pursuing it, in purchasing the vehicle, to say the least. So that's just the way it is. It is what it is. The data's there to show that literally when women are out here being promiscuous like that and they end up getting married, let's say, they are less interested in activity with their partner. They're less satisfied with their partner, all because they've had all these previous experiences. That's why I say the cat facts matters. Hashtag the cat facts matters, because it really does. I'm telling you, everything you do out here is all a part of your reputation. That's why I tell you, you have to be careful who you are, because let's talk about it real briefly. Black China. That's a good example, in my opinion, of somebody who, it seems to want to be redeemed. And I'm hoping, we all hope that she will continue down this path, that it's not just for publicity. It's not just for relevancy again. It's not just for status. I really pray that she's going to be on her way towards being an example for those modern women who are looking up to her to not be like her anymore. She's going and she's getting her, I think she got a doctorate in theology, something like that. So a total 180, right? So we're hoping that she's making the right decisions to set the standard. But I'm saying there's so many other modern women out here that women can look up to. Just look online, the celebrities today. And like Janessa said, you get what you put in a relationship. That is very true. You have to set the standard. So if you talk about these people, you want to trash talk the men, or whatever the case may be, but it's up to you to be a part of that or not. But back to my point about Black China, is that she's supposed to be the standard for modern women. And you see that she's gone ahead and took all those injections out of her, and she's trying to be normal again. That's to let you know that it didn't matter how many injections she had inside of her, how much Botox and lifts and dips and tips and whatever she got done to herself. It didn't stop her from realizing that that's not enough. That's not enough for me to get the ring that I want, right? To be the woman that I really desire to be. Because who wakes up one day as a little girl and says, I want to be for the streets one day? No, it's about the influence. It's about the fact you think you want to be for the streets because of that temporary validation you get from the Pookies and Ray Rays. Men who are of no status. Men who have nothing going on for themselves. Yeah, and like Culture Invasion Podcast was saying, she's church maxing. She's using God for her next hustle. See, that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, you can think you want to play God now, but best believe you're going to have to make an account for all that you've done. So good luck on trying that, Black China. But I pray she does this the right way. People are going to be keeping an eye on her anyway. Because they like, hey, how can you go from being this stripper, being this OnlyFans woman, to now wanting to be, whatever she's trying to get, whatever her end goal is, she's trying to be redeemed and saved. So that's just an example to let you know that people are still going to look at your past and look at you with a side eye until you prove yourself. Like it takes a whole lifetime to build up a reputation and a second to ruin it. A second to ruin it. And then a whole lifetime to build it back up again. That's why I tell you, set the standard now, ladies. So you won't have to be in this modern woman category. People think just because I'm young, I may be considered a modern woman, but you have to look at the actions of that woman, not just because she's young. So I know there's women out here, maybe even women in the chat, who don't fit that category, but it's just that so many are people that are modern women are getting the validation, they're getting the press. That's why everybody thinks all women are modern women, and that's not the case. But since men see that as a standard, they see modern women as what most women are, that's why they're leaving. That's why they're leaving, and I understand that. So,
right.
Yeah.